Hey all, welcome to this week's episode of the Mike Muldoon podcast. As always, thanks so much for joining me. Appreciate it. Keep subscribing, keep liking, share it with your friends. I don't know, today I just think is, I think it's just kind of a check-in day. I think it's important right now. There's just so much going on in the world right now, right? I mean, every time you look around, there's just mass layoffs and a lot of fear and uncertainty. I mean, this world just feels like it's increasingly uncertain. And I think there's just a lot of people struggling. And I think it's important that we start taking time to start thinking about people in our lives, even if we're probably one of them, that we start checking in with friends. You might need somebody who needs to check in as well, but I think it's also important that we try to think outside of ourselves and check in with people, right? Because like the simple act of just checking with friends and family and even some acquaintances in these trying times can really be a lifeline, especially as we all navigate through these challenging times, with all these global crises and economic instability and layoffs and social upheaval and, just staying connected. It's just not comforting. It's essential. So today I just want to talk about the importance of just checking in and maybe just offer some tips on, how to make these connections, and meaningful as well, right? Because that's what they really need to be. They need to be meaningful. They need to be authentic. They need to be real. Like I said, I mean, there's just so much going on right now in the world, and I'm going through my own stuff the last year. I've mentioned, my dad for months was in the hospital. He passed away, and then I was within a startup for a while, and then that kind of went south, and then just a lot of things going on. It's been a crazy year, but I think in all of it you kind of grow and you learn from it, and I think there's a lot to be learned in trying times. But again, I do think it's important though that we we check in with each other, make sure everybody's doing okay. I mean, it's crucial to do this because a lot of times, like a lot of it might just be for mental health, right? There's a lot of stigma around mental health, or was a lot of stigma around. I mean, I guess you could say it's slowly dissipating, right? But still there's a lot of people who suffer in silence, right? They still don't want to come out and talk about how they're feeling or what they're going through. And I think if you're somebody who knows somebody who might be like this, or you feel like they might be this way, I think, checking in, it's going to really help them break this sort of feeling of isolation that they have. You're going to maybe offer like a safe space for these individuals to share their feelings and their struggles and let them know it's okay. It reminds them that they're not alone. And that's the last thing, people who might be dealing with a little bit of mental health challenges right now, we don't want them to be alone, right? We want to also let them know too, like your feelings, they're valid. I mean, and help's available, whether it's going to be from you or maybe you can point them in a direction to help them get, better help. And, checking in is, it's just it's a stronger bond. I mean, if somebody just calls you and everything's great, it's like, hey, how's it going? There's no bond there. Like relationships really thrive on care and attention, right? Our lives are busy, so it's very easy to let relationships sort of just drift, right? But checking in, it's a powerful way to just show somebody that you care, and it strengthens that bond and kind of fosters a sense of community and belonging, which are really, really crucial for, not only connection, but for helping with emotional resilience. Right. And getting back to like what I was talking about, like mental health too, like if you take an time and you check in with people, it might be, an early intervention thing. You might catch somebody where maybe they were not heading in a good place. Like sometimes, a casual check-in can uncover like deeper issues that someone might be facing, such as depression or anxiety. And if it, maybe if you didn't check in with it or, see how they're doing, it could have spiraled. It can spiral, but so by identifying maybe these issues early with people and, maybe yourself, you might have to go out there and check in with people just to make sure, you're getting checked in yourself. It's possible to guide, friends or loved ones or family members or anyone towards the help they need before these situations escalate. Again, like I said, there's so much going on in the world right now. You can't turn on anything without being reminded about, all the social challenges we're having, economic challenges we're having, the layoffs that are going on in the world. So it's just important to, take that time, check in with your friends, check in with your family, And when you do so, really encourage the openness about it, right? Because like when we make it a habit to reach out and ask others how we're doing, it really cultivates an environment of openness, right? And vulnerability is valued, right? And this can encourage others to be more forthcoming about their own issues and promote a culture of honesty and support, right? If we allow people to be this way with us, then we allow them to be that way with other people, and other people then will pick up on it, and it becomes a cyclical thing. So again, with everything going on right now, take a moment. Think about some people in your life right now. Who haven't you talked to? Who might need something right now? Who might be always putting on the brave face? Sometimes the people put on the bravest face are the ones that need the most. So take a moment. And again, I know you're going through yourself, going through stuff, your own problems and your own challenges. But if you just sometimes you take a moment, you get outside yourself and you make yourself more about service, you might realize that what you're doing for other people might actually help you out as well. And I don't mean get something from it, but there's something about the act of helping others that releases, stress and anxiety in ourselves because, we're doing something. It makes it indirectly, selfishly, maybe it makes us feel good. So make sure you're out there checking in with people. And here's the thing, if you're going to do it, be genuine about it. Not like, hey man, what's up? Cool. All right. See you later. It's like, when checking in, the most important thing is to be genuine, right? Let the person know why you're reaching out and that you're truly interested in how they're doing. Hey man, I heard you lost your job. I know it's been a couple of weeks. How are you doing? Here's the thing. You're going to say to somebody, how you doing? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm fine. No, you got to stop. You say, no, seriously, man, I'm calling you. I'm talking to you. I'm here. I'm on the phone. I'm thinking about you. How are you doing? Make sure that they understand that this is not, as my wife likes to joke around in the U.S., in the Americas, like it really blew her mind. She would be walking down a hallway at her job and someone would say, oh, hey, how you doing? And my wife would want to stop and tell them. But she didn't realize, like most of the time, especially in New York where we were at the time, that, hey, how you doing is hey, how you doing? It's just an acknowledgement that I see you, that nobody really was concerned about how you were doing. But in this case, and we get it, right? Because it's just a way of saying hello. But this is a case where it's not. You want people to know, hey man, I want to know how you're doing. And you might have to choose the right medium to do so, right? Because some people don't want to get on a phone call. Some people might just want to text or email, or I don't know, maybe they want to meet face to face. And if you can do it, that's great. I mean, I think face to face communication is the best, because then you can really tell how somebody's doing by not just what they're saying, but kind of how they're reacting, right? Body language. But choose that method that, might make the most sense based on the relationship and communication preferences that you think they might need. If it's somebody you kind of know and you're sort of close with, but hey, this is not a phone person. We usually just communicate via text and go that way with it. But again, do your best to, let them know, look, this is not a brief, hey, how you doing? This is, hey, I want to know what's going on, right? And when a person talks, especially when you're checking in on some, make sure you're listening. And not without judgment. You're not trying to fix the problem. And I have to tell you, that's something I suffer from. I'm a problem fixer. And especially because I'm so used to working with people and hearing people that a lot of the same things that people talk about, it's like I can see the same challenges, issues, and I can kind of see what's going on. And if allowed, I can probably help them get past it. But sometimes it doesn't make a difference. People just want you to listen. Just hear me. This is something my wife says all the time. I don't need you to fix it. Just listen. I just want to vent. And I've noticed that sometimes about myself. I just want to say things, even though I know what the problem is. And I just want you to just listen. So, when you're with somebody, make sure you're offering your full attention. Don't rush to offer that advice, unless they ask, hey, what do you think? Then be careful, right? But sometimes all people want to do is be heard. They just want to vent, and that's it, And after you check in, depending on, how it went down, maybe find some time again to check in again, right? Show that you're cared, that you're following up later. Hey man, I know we talked last week. You were this. I want to just see how everything was going, see how you're doing. Hey man, if you need to, talk, let me know, But if somebody's really struggling, encourage them to seek professional help, right? That's that, we definitely want to do that. We want to just sit there, we're like, well, I know you're on the end of your rope there. I'll give you another week, really offer to assist, help them finding the resources and the support groups that might need. And I mean, and this goes for anybody, just make sure if you have an opportunity, again, just think about what's going on right now in the world and how people might be struggling. And you might not be surprised, like how that sort of reach out, that text, that, that phone call, whatever it might be, might really just change somebody's lives, right? Because checking in with others, it's really is a small gesture, but it can have a profound impact on somebody's day, their week, even their life. It's a practice that, fosters that understanding, that empathy and kindness in a world that, again, we desperately need more of these qualities in the world right now. In these turbulent times, we got to make the effort to reach out. It could be more to someone than you might know. Again, remember, a simple, hey, how you doing can start a conversation. Again, but it's a real, hey, how are you doing? That might be the most important one you have that day. Let's not underestimate that power of checking in, not just for others' well-being, but again, for your own. Maybe you need to be checked in by checking in on somebody else, but staying connected, it's going to really remind us that we are part of a larger community. Each of us is navigating our storms, but all of us, we're in the same ocean together. So I know some of you might be listening going, well, man, I'm going through all this stuff. Look, I'm right with you. I have never been a guy who took this podcast and have been doing it the way I've been doing it, coming from a place of, hey, man, everything's great in my life, so let me tell you what you need to do. No, I've gone through it. And if you haven't, go through, listen to my other episodes. You'll see there are times that I've gone through so many things. So I don't pretend to be a guy that knows everything. I'm just a guy who just thinks that, we can always get a little bit better. And sometimes the only way we can really do that is that we have to think outside ourselves. So I know you might be busy, you might be tough going through some things yourself, but if you could take, a couple of seconds of your day to maybe think about somebody else outside yourself, go for it. Reach out, see how they're doing, check on them, right? All right, everybody. I know this was a lot to ask of you, but listen, as always, I know this is short to the point. I just wanted to say thank you so much again for tuning in. I'm checking in on all of you right now. So if you're listening and you need to, let me know how you're doing, you can always go to my website, MikeMuldoonLC.com. You can always contact me there and just, reach out. And I'm more than happy to, be there for you if you need it. Okay. Other than that, I wish you the best. And as always, I got nothing but love for you.